everybody. Hope you're doing super well. Welcome back to another episode of Homebrew. My name is Rishi Pariwala. I am the co-founder of Nuhom, and we are working to improve the home buying experience for you. Today I've got Afjal Wahidi here. He is my co-founder. Afjal, how you doing?
I'm doing good. Pretty excited to talk about today's topic, which is lessons learned for launching a company during the pandemic.
Yeah, I mean, launching a company is a crazy thing to do in and of itself. You're right, we ended up doing it right after the pandemic had sort of really kicked off in a crazy way. We had been conceptualizing the idea for some time before, working through theories and hypotheses. But then after the pandemic, and we just saw the market was shifting so much, we felt like it made sense to launch, right?
Absolutely. I think it was an interesting time. You know, everything was kind of shifting online, right? And real estate was no different. The home became so important, right? We were looking around the space that we live in, and either we need more space, or it wasn't the right space that we wanted to live in anymore. So people were moving. People were still buying.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, whether it was migrating across town, across state, or across the country, we saw people go from, blue states to red states, coastal states to non-coastal states, and vice versa. But people decided that they had an opportunity to change their environment. And more than ever, they were using all the tools at their fingertips. We saw sites like Zillow and Redfin, their viewership go up like crazy because people just wanted to look and kind of create this vision of where they could be if they wanted to be. And yeah, in turn, it led to a number of people moving. I think some of the interesting things were just how people use some of the utilities that sort of came about. So everything from like 3D tours to floor plans were created even more so because of the pandemic. People could not go to homes as easily as they could before. Open houses were limited. You had an interval where you had to get in and do a 15-minute tour at a home because of social distancing, and sometimes those schedules were totally booked out, and so people couldn't even go see a home. But more than ever, people had to make a decision from the comfort of where they live today, not to bring risk to themselves, but also sellers, as to whether a home was a real fit for them. And they used all these tools more than ever. And I think it was really interesting how they did that, but also it taught us quite a bit about what to build for them as a company. Yeah,
I think one of the quotes that I think of is, innovation is a product of frustration, right? It definitely pushed, us as a company to think differently and innovate in the space and solve the problems that our home buyers are having. So what are some of the lessons learned from the launching?
Yeah, I think number one, and we know this, but like to see it actually happen is really interesting. Is like every home buyer is different. Home buyer can take a year or 2 years to find the home they want to buy and then ultimately buy it, and it's like comes down to timing and the things that are going on in their life and the homes that come on the market. And then there's some that within a week or two have found the place and they want to move quickly and steadfastly through the process. And I think it's that home buying is often very serendipitous. It's like you could see a home come on the market on a Wednesday, and by Friday you're trying to tour it or get a pre-approval, and by Sunday you're 10 steps into the process. And for us, it's really been trying to form a company that's ready for that, and that's ready for you as a home buyer, really at any step of the way. And so while home buying has in effect been like a very 24/7 kind of space, it became even more that during the pandemic because people had the liberty to do so much from home and wanted to make a move and make a change. And we saw that the tools that we were creating on Nuhom really allowed for that. and I'm excited about that as we move forward too. What about you, Joel?
Yeah, I think one of the biggest, there's so many learnings that I think I found from our home buyers and going through this process and operating Nuhom. But one of the main thing is, I think you said it, is no buyer is the same, right? So when no buyer is the same, they have different frustrations and pains through the process. So how do you solve their problem? And one way we're doing that is, we've enabled them and provided these self-serve tools at their fingertips, so they can act and take action when they're ready on their terms. So, yeah, I think there's a lot more to learn, but Nuhom's definitely going in that right direction of solving those problems for them.
Yeah, like one really interesting nugget I'd say is like you can actually request pricing guidance on our site. Like if it's a home you've toured or you haven't toured, but you have, interest in the home, and you may decide you want to make an offer, you want to go tour it. We'll give you an opinion on where we think the home could be priced. Ultimately, a lot of seller agents have been pricing their asking prices low to create like this rush of demand into the house, and ultimately prices have gotten bid up. And so we try to give you guidance even before you walk into the home about where we think pricing could end up. Now, people have requested pricing guidance from us at all different stages, but it's really interesting when they've requested before they've even gone to the home, because it's like they've got something in their hand before they walk in or make the decision to walk in. And so I think it's been a really interesting tool to put out to people, and it's been utilized in different ways. But I think given all of that, like there's so much more to do in the coming like year and years. What are some of the things that you're looking forward to in the next year, Joel?
Yeah, I think we have some exciting things lined up in terms of the product experience for the home buyer. Again, keeping in theme of making things easier and simpler. Definitely better customer service. We want to be there when they need us. We want to make things more transparent and expose information that they need to make a decision, right? And give them better access to the homes that they're looking for. Internally, I think we're definitely growing our team. We've learned a lot. We've grown a lot, and I think we still have a lot to do.
Yeah, I think just the even if we think about like some of the design that we're doing now, again, keeping the home buyer at the center of all of it, and trying to provide them good access, as you've said. But I think it's designing an experience that people can appreciate, that it speaks to them in a way that is helpful, right? It's like providing them good contextual information at the right time is so important in the home buying process, because it takes energy. It really does to buy a home. And so providing them good information at the right time, being there for them when they need us, are definitely some of the key pillars as we create the next sort of experience for Nuhom.
Yeah, the industry has not changed for far too long, right? And I think it's just ideal and ripe timing for us to change the industry and how people buy homes. We're basically targeting the next generation of home buyers, right? So what do they need to buy a home? And we're here to provide that.
Yeah, super excited about the next year, and look forward to continue to learn about the space and how folks think about buying a home. What's helpful to them, what triggers them, and look forward to building and continue to build this awesome experience for folks.